And we're taught that teaching and spreading Pnimius Atayra will bring Mashiach closer. And we know that the Ari was a teacher of Pnimius Atayra. So tonight we get a special kayach to learn more Pnimius Atayra and to spread it and to internalize it. So we're going to start with Tehillim and Tzedakah. And we're going to start with the Rebbe's Kapitel. In a second, I'm just going to bring it up.
No, we start with Tzedakah. First you give Tzedakah, then you say Tehillim.
So let's do that. Tziyim b'mishpati patah b'tzedakah gedai l'tzedakah shemekareves es hagula.
Amen, amen.
Okay, so now we're going to say the Rebbe's Kapitel. Can take it to Tehillim. Shir Hamalei Elecha Nasasi Es Einai Hayesh Vashamayim. Hine Chaine Avadim Al Yad Adinehem Keine Shifcha Al Yad Gevirta Keinenu El Adinai Lehinu Ad Shechanenu Chanenu Adinai Chanenu Ki Rav Savanu Buz Rabba Savala Nafshenu Halaag Hashananim Habuz Legay Yainim Yechi Adinenu Marinu Varbinu Malach HaMashiach La'ilam Vad. We're now going to say the Rebbetzins Kapitel. Shir Hamalis LaDavid, Lulei Adonai Shahayalanu Yemer Na Yisrael, Lulei Adonai Shahayalanu Bekum Malenu Adam, Azai Chaim Beleunu Bachareis Apam Banu, Azai Hamaim Shetefunu Nachla Avra Al Nafshenu, Azai Avra Al Nafshenu Hamaim Hazedainim, Baruch Adonai Shalai Nisananu Tarif Lishanehem, Nafshenu Kitzipar Nimlotami Pach Yekshim, Hapach Nishbar Va'anachnu Nimlotnu, Ezreinu B'Shem Adonai, Oisei Shamayim Va'aretz. Now we're going to say Kapitel Chaf. It should be as chus for all those who need a Yeshua, Geula, Refuah, and especially for the safety and protection in Eretz Yisrael, safety of the soldiers, and the return of the hostages. Lamnatseach Mizmer LeDavid, Yan Chadrinai B'yem Sari Sagefcha Shem Lehe Yaakov, Yishlach Ezrecha Mikaidish Amitzion Yisedeka, Yizkar Kol Min Chaysecha, V'elasecha Yidashin Hasela, Yitan Lecha Chavavecha V'chol Atzasecha Yimale. Niranina b'shuasecha u'v'shem lehinu nidgo. Yimale Adonai kol mishalesecha. Ata yedaiti ki yeshi Adonai Mashiach ya'aneu mishemei kache b'gvuras yesha yaminai. Eila v'recha v'eila v'asusim v'anachnu b'shem Adonai lehinu nazkir. Heim akaru v'nafalu v'anachnu kamnu v'nisaidad. Adonai Hashia hamelech ya'anenu v'yem karenu. For those who didn't put tzedakah, you could still put tzedakah. And we're very honored right now to have Rabbi Meislish teach us Hilchos Beis Habchira. Rabbi Meislish.
Rabbi Meislish, you're muted. We can't hear you.
Sorry. Okay, so today we're going to have the last shir on Zoom together on the concept of Hilchos Beis Habchira, or Inyanim of the Beis Hamikdash. Today we're going to speak more about a Klolus Dikir. And as the Rebbe tells us that when we learn about the Beis Hamikdash, so this is our way to be Mekayim the mitzvah of Asuli Mikdash. This is our participation in the binyan, in building the third Beis Hamikdash. So before we start our last shir, I wanted to speak especially about our tkufa, the times that we are in now, and the connection to the Beis Hamikdash. V'asuli mikdash, the mitzvah, is a mitzvah that is always shayich, it's always negeya, and that's why Yidden always mention, and before davening we mention the karbanis, and we always remember the Beis Hamikdash in many ways, and we ask for Mashiach. But especially in our tkufa today, in a very, very strong way, we are connected to a time that is straightly connected to Binyan Beis Hamikdash. In general, for being Deir HaShvi, and I'm sure we've all learned the Maimer of Basi Legani, how the Deir HaShvi, just like Moshe Rabbeinu, he was the Shvi, and he builds the Mishkan, we are also the Deir HaShvi, and our generation will merit the construction, the building of the third Beis Hamikdash, the Shleimus of Lasis Le'Yisbarech, Dira B'Sachteinim. But in the Deir HaShvi, the time that we are in now is even more especially connected to the concept of Binyan Beis Hamikdash. And I would like to go through a few sikhs of the Rebbe before we go into the topic that we're going to speak about today, of how today is so connected to the inyan of building the time, this man of binyan Beis Hamikdash. Now, in Tafshin Lamed Vav, when the Rebbe starts this mitzvah of learning about the Beis Hamikdash, because through learning we're building, obviously this is also because we are approaching the time of building the Beis Hamikdash. And therefore, suddenly it becomes more of a mitzvah. And the Rebbe wants that every Yid, as much as possible, should be learning in this time about the Beis Hamikdash, because we're getting there. It's a time that the world is ready to have more of his galus of the Beis Hamikdash, and the way to receive it is through learning about it. And from then on, the Rebbe made a big shturim to learn the inyanim of the Beis Hamikdash. And like I mentioned in the first shir, there's a sikh of the Rebbe. The Rebbe says, go out to the street, find a Yid, and tell him that we have to build the Beis Hamikdash, and this is through learning about it. Limuda ki binyan. Again, we're coming closer to the time of binyan Beis Hamikdash. So suddenly there's a mitzvah and a shturim to get involved, to participate in binyan Beis Hamikdash. Now this takes, again, from my understanding, I'm just quoting right now Sichis, but L'cheira takes a new step, a new level in the year Tavshin Mem Zayin. This is right after the Didan Notzach, Hey Tevis. And in Shabbos Parshas Vayigash, the Rebbe says a very, very special Sikha. And the Rebbe explains that the time that we are now, the Rebbe says it as a Chiddush, is a time connected to Binyan Beis Hamikdash. And I'm going to read it inside. Again, this is a Sikha in Shabbos Parshas Vayigash, Tavshin Mem Zayin. So the Rebbe says in this Sikha, Maschil Zman Chodosh, we're starting a new time. Hashayich leBeis Hamikdash as Dugula Asida. I didn't have a chance to send in the Sikha before we started the class, but these words are underlined. Zman Chodosh, the Rebbe underlined. We're in a new time, and the Rebbe underlines this. And connected to the Beis Hamikdash as Dugula Asida, underlined. Al Yedei David Abdi Nasi Lam Laelam, David Malka Mashiach, underlined. So the Rebbe is underlining and giving a big psura in the year Tavshin Mem Zayin that we're entering a new zman, a new tkufa that's connected to the Beis Hamikdash Asid. And in very short, the Rebbe explains that all the Nisim did all they could to bring Mashiach, and every Nasi in his generation did whatever he could. And now we're in the day Rashvi, Kol Hashvin Chavivin. So the Rebbe says, Lo Naisar Ela Lahayrid Ulahavi Es Beis Hamikdash Hanitzchi. Now that all that's missing is that we have to bring down and to bring the eternal Beis Hamikdash, Mikdash Ad Nikenu Yadecha, with Mashiach Tzidkenu. So the Rebbe is revealing to us that we're now in a new Zman connected to Binyan Beis Hamikdash. So you could think, the Yidden always waited for the Beis Hamikdash. It was always a concept. But the Rebbe is saying that there's something new here. We are now in a Tkufa connected to Beis Hamikdash Hashlishi. And the Rebbe says this very strongly later on in the Sikha. I'm going to read it and translate it. V'lachim, the Rebbe says, therefore, yesh lahachriz ulefarseim shebiyomeinu eile nimtzoim anu v'zmanu makim miyuchad. And therefore, the Rebbe says we should tell everyone, we should be mefarsim, we should announce that these days are special. These days are a special time. Asher leinaiser by ella inyan echad v'yachid. All that's left is one thing. V'chayav adam leimar b'l'shein rabbi. B'l'shein v'etis Rebbe Chami Admur. Near the Rebbe quotes the Frierdiker Rebbe. Im du achin kulchem. Get ready. Libinyan Beis Hamikdash ha'asid b'bias David Malka Mashiach. Get ready and stay ready. Be ready for the construction of the Beis Hamikdash ha'asid with the coming of Mashiach. And therefore, the Rebbe continues, B'meila, we have the shlichos on each one of us to bring and be megale, the future Beis Hamikdash that's already built in Shamayim, and we only have to reveal it and bring it down here. And then the Rebbe continues on that it's shaykh to every Yid. And the Rebbe continues how now our tafkid and our time is a time connected with the Binyan Beis Hamikdash Hashlishi. Again, the Rebbe says it's a new thing. And then Rebbe goes on to explain what is Binyan Beis Hamikdash Hashlishi. That obviously it's going to be greater than the Mishkan, the first Beis Hamikdash, and the second Beis Hamikdash, because the second Beis Hamikdash came after 70 years of Galus. We're already over 1,900 years in Galus. So imagine what kind of a Gula and what kind of a Beis Hamikdash we're waiting for. Okay, so the Rebbe tells us that we're in a new time, a time connected to the Binyan Beis Hamikdash Asid. And obviously, the Rebbe also mentioned the Beis Hamikdash is ready in Shemayim, and all we have to do is to bring it down. And I'm sure that includes also adding in Torah and mitzvahs, Ma'asim Tevim, that this will bring and be Megale, the third Beis Hamikdash, will bring it down from Shemayim. But when the Rebbe says that there is a new concept, it's an Inyan Chadash. So obviously, it has to come with a Ma'aseh B'Poyel. What does it mean to us today that now we're in a time, an Inyan Chadash of Beis Hamikdash Hashlishi? So the Rebbe says, obviously this has to express itself in Maseinu Avedosenu, in our Aveda today, that everyone should make a Mikdash Me'at. This will be part of the topic that we're going to speak about today, the Beis HaMikdash as it applies today. Mikdash Me'at, a small Beis HaMikdash, that really everyone could make out of their own house a Beis HaMikdash, a Zachana. We're now in a time that's connected to the Beis HaMikdash. Let's do our part in the Binyan Beis Hamikdash by making our house. First of all, the Rebbe says by making Batei Torah Tefillah Gemilos Chasadim, by making houses Batei Chabad. The Rebbe mentions Batei Chabad in every place, and making these Batei Chabad is a kiyum of Basili Mikdash. As we're going to see soon in today's class, that this is a very big chiddush and a very literal thing. That by making Batei Chabad, we're being mekayim this inyan. And the Rebbe includes not only making big Batei Chabad, but also in one's home, Beis Dira Prati, in one's house, in one's room, that he should have over there chafetzim that are used for kedusha. The Rebbe includes that also the gashmis the chafetzim, like a mitah, shulchan, kisei, menorah. All this should be used in a way to serve Hashem. As the Beis Chabad, it becomes a Beis Torah, Tefillah, Gemilos Chasadim, a Beis Chabad, that the Shechina dwells there. So what do we have to do now, being that we're now in a time connected to the Beis HaMikdash? Build shuls, build Batei Tefillah, Batei Knesses, Batei Chabad. And not only that, in your own home, do something to express over there the Beis Chabad, the Mikdash Me'at, the V'shachanti V'seichem, the Shechina is there. One of the things that the Rebbe mentions in this Sikha is also just like in the big Beis Chabad, the Beis Chabad, the Merkazi, the Rebbe calls it. We make farbringins, and farbringins have a very special inyan. Everyone should be mishtadel, that from time to time there should be also chassidische farbringins in one's own home. You should be mishtadel to have farbringins in your house, and this brings it, and this makes it also. This brings also the V'shachanti V'seichem of to making the house a place for Hashem, a place of Kedusha, a place of the Shechina. The Rebbe connects it also that when you eat, and it's a naifin of Kedusha, so again it's bringing down Kedusha. So in 2 words, Bichlal, in Tavshin Lamed Vav, the Rebbe starts speaking about learning about the Beis HaMikdash. And in Tavshin Mem Zayin, the Rebbe tells us that we're in a new time now, after Didan Notzach, connected to the Beis HaMikdash, and everyone should make from his own home a Beis Chabad by bringing in chafetzim of Kodesh, making the room and the house a place of Teda, Tefillah, Gemilos Chasadim, by making chassidische farbringins, and making also out of every house a Beis Chabad. The Rebbe spoke also then about connecting a pushka to the wall, making the house connected to inyan of Gemilos Chasadim. And again, this is a new Gilui, a time that's connected to the Gula Asida. I'm moving on now. This is already in Tavshin Nun Aleph, and the Rebbe says something similar to what we mentioned in the Sikha of Tavshin Mem Zayin. The Rebbe says from the concepts of the Gula Asida and the Gula Shlema is the Beis HaMikdash Hashlishi. And the Rebbe says this is higher than the Mishkan, the Beis Yishin, and Beis Sheni, Mikdash Ad Nikein Yodecha, a Mikdash built by Hashem. So the Rebbe says, being that now we're in a time that we're ready for the Beis HaMikdash, we have to add in Maseinu Avedosenu in things that are me'ein b'dugma v'achana, things that are similar in a preparation to binyan Beis Hamikdash Shlishi. And how is that? By binyan batim chadashim, building new houses and adding in houses that are there already in the Gimel Kavin of Teirah Tefillah Milus Chasadim. We mentioned before also that this is also done in one's house. Interesting that this Sicha is also Parshas Vayigash, Hey Tevis, Tavshin Nun Aleph. Okay, so we're in a new tkufa now. We're in a tkufa that Shaykh the Binyan Beis Hamikdash Hashlishi, and we start with Pu'ulis that are Shaykh the Binyan Beis Hamikdash Hashlishi. We're learning about it. We're making our house a Beis Hamikdash by doing Ma'asim Teirah Tefillah and Milus Chasadim in our houses. We're adding in Bati Chabad. We're helping shuls, and with this we have in mind that we're participating and doing whatever we could to participate in Binyan Beis Hamikdash. This is our way, our achana, me'ein b'dugma, to prepare for the third Beis Hamikdash. The limud Beis Habchira, the learning of the Beis Hamikdash that we have now, being that we're in a time that the Rebbe says that Mashiach is about to come and Mashiach is coming. Shana Shemalach HaMashiach Niglabay, in Tafshin Nal, the Rebbe says that it was the year that Mashiach was revealed throughout all the Nisim that they saw that year. And may we continue seeing these Nisim also this year, and may it be in a stronger way, and we should see it with this Galus of Mashiach. When the Rebbe was speaking about this Inyan, so the Rebbe speaks also about the limud Beis Habchira, the limud of the Beis Hamikdash. This is a sikha around the tkufa of the 9 days. So the Rebbe says like this: since Mashiach is about to come, the Rebbe says limud Hilchos Beis Habchira b'shana zu. When we learn about the Beis Hamikdash this year, underlined, it has to be in a different way. So, since Tavshin Lamed Vav we're learning about the Beis Hamikdash, until Tavshin Lamed Vav Yidden we're also learning about the Beis Hamikdash. But obviously when the Rebbe came out with the Mitzvah, learning about the Beis Hamikdash took another level. And now in Tavshin Nun Aleph, the Rebbe says, now learning about the Beis Hamikdash, the Rebbe underlined has to be in a new Eifed, in a totally new way. Change the Hilchos L'Mashicha, ki malacha l'maisa b'poyel b'rega shlachis underline. The Rebbe says like this: when we're learning now about the Beis Hamikdash, we always learned concepts of Mashiach. You didn't always learn about the different halachas that would apply in Karbanis, Beis Hamikdash. However, it was considered Hilchos L'Mashicha, halachas that don't apply for right now. But when Mashiach will come, we're going to need to know about it, and it's halachas, it's part of Torah. We're going to learn it. The Rebbe says we're not learning it now as something that's going to be in a far future or in a new future. We're learning about something that's about to happen. So b'meila, we can't learn like years ago. We're about to come to the Binyan Beis Hamikdash Hashlishi. When we're learning these halachas, we're learning halacha l'maisa about the next moment that's about to be. Kevan Shemikdash Asid, Shanu Mitzapin Bani Mesuchlo, Kvar Ata l'maila. The Beis Hamikdash is ready, already in Shamayim. Yigalav Yavim Mishamayim Berega Kerememra. In a second, it's going to be here. So, b'meila, in other words, let's explain the chiddush of the Rebbe and Tavshin Nun Aleph. Already in the previous years, the Rebbe said we should learn about the Beis Hamikdash because by learning about it, we're participating in the binyan. Here, the Rebbe is adding another nekuda in our limud about the Beis Hamikdash. The Rebbe is saying like this. In other words, when Purim comes, Pesach comes, Chanukah comes, if a Yom Tov comes and you don't prepare before, you don't learn some of the halachas, it's going to be very hard for the Yom Tov to really be kept the way it should. Before every Yom Tov, we know there's actually a halacha that you have to learn Hilchos Achar K'edem Achag. You have to learn the halachas of the Yom Tov before the Yom Tov comes in order that we should be able to celebrate it and keep it properly. So the Rebbe says over here, there's a Yom Tov. There's something about to happen, and it's again many halachas. Mashiach is coming. The Beis Hamikdash is coming down this second. So just like before Purim comes, you have to learn the halachas of Purim. Before Rosh Hashanah, you have to learn the halachas of Rosh Hashanah. We're about to have the third Beis Hamikdash. We're not just learning about halachas that are going to be in the future about the Beis Hamikdash. We're learning because any second, Shabbos is coming, Rosh Hashanah is coming, Sukkot is coming, Mashiach is coming. We have to learn the halachas of Mashiach. We have to learn the halachas of the Beis Hamikdash because he's coming now, and we have to be ready for him. So it's not just a school, but we're actually learning halacha l'maisa because we have to be ready for this. Then there's another sikha that I wanted to mention also in Parshas Truma. The Rebbe mentions also that after all the Pirushim of us, the Mikdash Chanti B'Seicham, Ein Mechayet Midei Pshutei, and Pashut, we have to build the Beis HaMikdash, Pshutei Mamish. What does it mean to us? Pashut, to build the Beis HaMikdash Shlishi, Pashtus Mamish, as the Rambam brings, that the Mashiach will build the Beis HaMikdash in this place. And according to the Rambam, everyone has to help to build the Beis HaMikdash, Anoshim, Noshim, and Anoshim all help out with the Binyan Beis HaMikdash. And the Rebbe says also Taf with the Nedavis. Now we know that the men and women both have the same chiyuv in Vasili Mikdash. When we talk about building the Beis HaMikdash, that we just mentioned a moment ago that we have to learn halacha l'maisa about building the Beis HaMikdash. Now, this is a shir to Neshei Chabad. You could think, who's going to get involved in building the Beis HaMikdash? Big tzaddikim and rabbanim, they're going to be the ones involved in building. But the truth is that the chiyuv of Vasili Mikdash is on anoshim and noshim. Ladies have the same chiyuv in building the Beis HaMikdash like men. And Vasili Mikdash, the ladies actually had a very important part in building the Beis HaMikdash. So the Rebbe says over here in this sikha that everyone has to get involved. When we talk about Binyan Beis HaMikdash, Kipshuti Mamish, Anoshim, the Noshim, when we're saying that we have to get ready for this, this is why we're learning the halachis, it's for each one of us. And the Rebbe includes also Taf. Now we know that children don't stop learning to build the Beis HaMikdash. So what does the Rebbe mean that Taf also get involved in building the Beis HaMikdash? So here it means about the Nedavis. In other words, that everyone could participate by donating towards the Beis HaMikdash, and children could also donate towards the Beis HaMikdash. In this sikha, the Rebbe mentioned also how a parent gives his child money, and then he could give tzedakah. So a child could also give towards the Beis HaMikdash, and he could give a nedava towards the Beis HaMikdash. Now, b'peil mamish, I'm not sure how this is done. I know that after the sikha, Neshei Chabad actually gave jewelry towards Binyan Beis HaMikdash Ashlishi. If I'm not mistaken, I'm sure in the crowd, people would know better than me what the Rebbe's reaction was. And the Rebbe took it, the Rebbe accepted it. In general, I'm not sure how this works, Ma'aseh B'Payil, and maybe it could be spoken. I'm sure maybe some of those who are participating here would know more about it. You have to be careful when you donate something to the Beis HaMikdash. It might have a geder of kedusha, which would be a little bit complicated. So I heard a story that in Eretz Yisrael they wanted to make pushkis for the Beis HaMikdash. In other words, you have pushkis to shuls. They wanted to make pushkis. The people should start donating to the Beis HaMikdash. But the Rebbe was a little bit careful about that. And the Rebbe said better to ask a Rav because it could get complicated. If one of those pushkis get lost, if money falls on the floor, it's very serious because it becomes hekdesh and it could become a very complicated topic. There would be pushkis for the Beis HaMikdash. Maybe it's a little bit different when they gave the jewelry directly to the Rebbe and the Rebbe knows what to do with it. Again, I don't know, but I'm just mentioning the fact that Neshei Chabad did give jewelry for the Beis HaMikdash and the Rebbe accepted it, and this was a very great thing. After the Sikha, the Rebbe spoke about donating towards the Beis HaMikdash. Okay, now we're going to start today's topic. Today's topic is based also on the pasuk in Yecheskel, and also on the pasuk which is the source of the mitzvah of Binyan Beis HaMikdash. The pasuk in Yecheskel is Vahilahem the Mikdash Mat Baratis Asher Bo Sham. Hashem tells Yecheskel that when the Yidden are in Galus, they're going to have a little Beis HaMikdash in the lands that they will come there. The Yidden are going to come to Bavel, and they're going to come to other places. And Hashem tells Yecheskel that they will also have a little Beis HaMikdash, a Mikdash Ma'at, in these places that they will come. And we're going to see soon a beautiful Gemara about this pasuk and what it means, a Mikdash Ma'at. And going to the pasuk in Teira of Asuli Mikdash Rachanti B'Seicham, the pasuk which is, there are different opinions which pasuk would be exactly the source of the mitzvah of building the Beis HaMikdash. But yes, this is a source of the concept of the Beis HaMikdash. Asuli Mikdash, the Rambam brings it also in the beginning of Hilchos Beis Habchira. Asuli Mikdash, which could include also the Mishkan. Now, this is the tzivui of building the Beis HaMikdash, the Asuli Mikdash. Now, the Chachamim tell us that whenever the Torah says the word li, so it's nitzchi, it's forever. Wherever it says li, it's forever. Now, there comes a question that Hashem says, V'asul li mikdash, make for me a Beis HaMikdash, and li means that it's nitzchi. But how can we say it's nitzchi? There was a churban. So how could it be the pasuk says Vasuli Mikdash, which means that the Beis HaMikdash is forever? It's nitzchi. We know that there was a churban. Now, there are many ways to answer this question. The Tzemach Tzedek answers this question by explaining that a shul, a Beis Knesses, and a Beis Medrash also has somewhat of a kedusha of the Beis Hamikdash, and this mitzvah, va'asu limikdash, is forever. Because when we build a shul and we build a Beis Medrash today, we are being mekayim the mitzvah of va'asu limikdash. There's also a Zoyar on this pasuk va'asu limikdash, and the Zoyar explains that when a Yid builds a Beis Knesses or a Beis Medrash, this is the way that we're doing va'asu limikdash. Now, this is a very interesting point and a big chiddush. And again, literally, yes, when a Yid is participating and getting involved, begufayu, b'mamaynai, to build a shul or a Beis Medrash, he's being mekayim the mitzvah of va'asu limikdash. Now, the Rebbe asks, why does the Tzemach Tzedek choose this answer? You could give many other answers. For example, as we know, and we mention it every time we have the shir of Hilchos Beis Habchira or Inyanim of Beis Hamikdash, that when you learn about it, you're building it. Hashem says that I consider it as if you're building, and the Rebbe explained that it's mamish akiyum of the mitzvah of Asli Mikdash. Why can't you give that as an answer? Why does the Tzemach Tzedek bring as an answer that when you take a hammer and a nail and bricks and cement and you start digging and building, that you're being mekayim the mitzvah of Asli Mikdash? What about learning is like building? When you learn, you're building the Beis Hamikdash in Yerushalayim and the Har HaBayis. Why is building a shul anywhere else in the world more than that? More than the kiyum of Asli Mikdash through learning about it? Or take another example. Asli Mikdash, the Shechina never left its place. So that means till today in Eretz Yisrael, the Mekayim Mikdash, the Shechina is still there. So that's another way that we could explain it's nitzchi. That the Beis Hamikdash is nitzchi, the Beis Hamikdash is forever because the Shechina never left. There are other ways to explain it. Al Piruchnius Anyanim. The Tzemach Tzedek chooses the way to explain that it's nitzchi by getting involved in building a shul and a Beis Medrash. Why? The Rebbe says something very interesting. Because va'asli mikdash is something active and begashmius. The Rebbe is medayik also in the midrashim that it means lo yizaz ba'elam hazeh, lo yizaz ba'elam haba. If we're going to say it's a ruchnius dikeinyin, so you don't see so much lo yizaz ba'elam hazeh, the gashmius doesn't move. Va'asuli is something active, something that you're getting involved. The Rebbe says, therefore, the Tzemach Tzedek, the Tzemach Tzedek chooses building Bati Knesses and Bati Midrashes because he wants to take something that is a gashmius de kupu'ula ba'elam hazeh, that we could still be mekayim the mitzvah, to show how the mitzvah of Asli Mikdash is nitzchi. And that's why he chooses the concept of that when you build a shul, Beis Knesses and a Beis Medrash, you're being mekayim the mitzvah of Asli Mikdash. Now, this really has a source in what Hashem tells the Navi. Hashem tells the Navi, Hashem calls these shuls in Bati Medrash a mikdash. Even though really I wanted to speak about it later, but I'll mention it now. The Rebbe takes it a step further. We mentioned before that the Rebbe asked that every house should be a Beis Teira Tefillah Gmilus Chasadim. So the Rebbe says, when in your house you build a table to learn a Torah, you build shelves to put Sfarim, you make a place to learn. So you're a table to bring archim, to bring Gmilas Chasadim. You are also being mekayim the Basali Mikdash in your house. I remember after I got married, you're coming out of yeshiva and you're getting involved, and we're taking care of our house, we're bringing the shelves, and it was a little bit hard. And I remember Punkta was this tkufa, and I remember learning the Sikha. Punkta, I was putting up the shelves and I was spending hours banging and clapping. I was thinking, what kind of an Avaida is this? And I remember learning the Sikha. The Rebbe says, when you build a shelf and arting to put Svardim, so you're being Mekayim Asli Mikdash. I remember that those shelves, I built with a different Gishmak. We're being Mekayim the mitzvah of Asli Mikdash because I'm making a place in my house to put Svardim and to learn Torah. So again, when we do this in our house, we're also being Mekayim this Mikdash Ma'at in our own house. Now, I wanted to move on to a Sikha of the Rebbe, which speaks about the concept of Mikdash Ma'at in a very special way, and in the way that it is today, and especially in our times coming to Mashiach. But before that, I wanted to learn a Gemara together. This is the Gemara of Maseches Megillah. Maybe we could show it on the screen. First PDF, the Gemara of Maseches Megillah. Okay, so let's here. Okay, so this is, if you manage to see it, like 20 lines down. All right, and there's a taisvis on the left side that it says in big the word ain. On the left side, there's a word that it says ain in big. It's like a taisvis that has a big word that it says ain. And to the right of that word, it says Tanya Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai Omer. I'm going to read it now inside. Tanya Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai Omer. Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai says, Look how much Hashem loves the Yidden. Shebechol makim shegalu, in every place that they came into Galus, Shechina imaim, the Shechina is with them. Galu limitzrayim, Shechina imaim. They were Gala to Mitzrayim, the first Galus. The Shechina is with us. Shechina imaim shenemar hanigla niglesi levesa bicha b'yesam b'Mitzrayim gaimer. Galu lebavel Shechina imaim. Shenemar lemanchen Shechina. Shenemar lemanchen shalachti bavela. So he brings a pasuk how the Shechina was with the Yidden in Mitzrayim. The Shechina was with the Yidden in Galus Bavel. It says lemanchen shalachti bavela, because of you I was sent to Bavel. Hashem came with us to Galus Bavel. When Mashiach will come, the Shechina will go into the Gula with us. Shenemar v'shav Hashem alikecha shvuscha. It says in the pasuk, Hashem Vishav will come back with your returning. Now, the way to say that Hashem will return you, it should have said Veheshiv, Hashem will return you. But it says Vishav Hashem, because Hashem is coming back with you. When we come to the Gula, Hashem comes back with us. Veheshiv le'nemar ela v'shav. It doesn't say Hashem will bring us back, but He will come back with us. This teaches us that Hashem comes back with us. Is from Galus. Okay, so the Gemara just told us that Hashem is with us in Galus. Now the Gemara, this is Talmud Bavli. These Amirayim are in Bavel, and they just discovered, I mean, they know, but they're mentioning now that the Shechina is with them in Galus. Asks the Gemara, we're in Galus. We're in Bavel is the Shechina. We just mentioned that the Shechina is with us in Galus Bavel. We're in Bavel is the Shechina with us. Abaye says, sure, I'll tell you where the Shechina is. There's a shul, and it's called Beiknishta, the shul of Hutzal. This shul was near where Ezra HaSefer was. He was the Nasi Adair of his generation, the Mashiach of his generation, and this shul of Hutzal was nearby where Ezra was. Ubeveiknishta, the Shav V'Yisiv ben Hardea. And in another shul, which is called Shav V'Yisiv in Hardea. Why was it called Shav V'Yisiv? So when the Yidden went into Galus Yichanya, so the Yidden they didn't want to forget Yerushalayim, and when they went to Galus, they took the stones and the earth of the Beis Hamikdash when they went to Bavel, and they placed it to build a new shul in Bavel. They wanted to remember the Beis Hamikdash, and they took the stones with them. They took the earth with them when they went to Bavel. You can imagine it wasn't easy to schlep things with them, going to Bavel, going to Galus, leaving everything behind. And what they took in Zinon, what they decided to take with them is stones and earth of the Beis Hamikdash, to take the Beis Hamikdash with them. And they built the Beis Hamikdash, they built a shul in Narda, and it's called Shafi Yisiv. Shafi Yisiv means that it moved from there and it settled. It moved from Yerushalayim and it settled in Narda. And he continues, don't say that it's here and there. Sometimes it's in Hutzal, sometimes it's in Narda and Shafi Yisiv. Omar Abaye says, oh wow. So the Shechina is here in these shuls, in Hutzal or in Shafi Yisiv. Tisili, from here I learned the Chimarchikna Parsa. If I'm going to even be far a Parsa from these shuls, a Parsa is 80 minutes, an hour and 20 minutes walk. Ailina umatzlina hasam. I'm ready to walk a full Parsa, even if I have shuls around my block. I'm ready to walk a full parsa to daven in this special shul where the Shekhinah is with us in the times of Galus, where the Shekhinah is with us in Bavel. But and here the Gemara says an interesting story. I'll read them already. Navud the Shmuel, the Levi, Abiyasov, Knishta, Shav Yisif, and Arda. As the Shechina Shamu called Riksha, Kamu v'Nafkur Rav Sheshes, Abiyasov, Knishta, Shav Yisif, and Arda. Ask your Shechina. So it says how they were sitting in the shul, and suddenly the Shechina came. So then they felt the Shechina coming. They felt they have to leave the shul. Rav Sheshes, interesting. Rav Sheshes, Rahman al-Islam, was a Saginar. He was blind, and when he was sitting there, he didn't leave the shul. And the Malach Ashari started coming and they started scaring him. And he said, someone who's embarrassed and someone who's not embarrassed, who's pushed away. In other words, I'm a poor guy sitting here in the shul. Like, I should be able to sit here. Amr Lushav Ku, Hashem said, leave him. And they left him alone and he was able to continue in the shul. Let's move down. Now here we're quoting the pasuk in Yechezkel that Hashem says that he's going to be that there's going to be a little Beis Hamikdash in the place that they will come. There'll be a little Beis Hamikdash. Amar Rabbi Yitzchak, where is this Mikdash Ma'at? These are the shuls in the Bati Medrash in Bavel. But Rabbi Lazar Amar, where is this Mikdash Ma'at? Ze Beis Rabbeinu shebeBavel. Rabbi Lazar says this is the house of our Rebbe in Bavel, which, if I'm not mistaken, is the house of Rav. Yeah. We'll need a little bit also towards the right because the Gemara continues a little bit towards the right. Okay, and the Gemara goes on to speak about how shuls and bati knesses and bati midrashes have a special kedusha. I'm skipping down a little bit right there with where the arrow is. Tanya, right under the arrow. Tanya, Rabbi Lazar HaKapar Reimer. Rabbi Lazar HaKapar says, "Asidim bati knesses and bati midrashes shebeBavel sheikavu b'Eretz Yisrael." The shuls and bati medrash from Bavel will be placed in Eretz Yisrael. Shenem, as it says in the pasuk, ki ketaber bahari muke Carmel biyam Yahweh, that these two mountains, Carmel and Taber and Carmel, will come to Eretz Yisrael. These were mountains that were near Har Sinai, and they were like there when they received the Torah, so they're going to come to Eretz Yisrael. Taber and Carmel were only there for a small amount of time. When Hashem gave the Torah, a little bit Torah, they came to learn Torah in that time. They go to Eretz Yisrael, but the Knesses and the Midrashes, Shuls and Bati Medrash, that in them they read and they teach Torah, for sure they're going to be placed in Eretz Yisrael. Okay, up till here, this is what we're going to see now in the Gemara, and we're going to continue now this year. So we just saw in this Gemara, we saw many very interesting things. First of all, we learned that Hashem is with us in Galus. When they were in Bavel, Hashem was with us in Bavel. We're in America, Hashem is with us in America. Wherever a Jew is in Galus, the Shekhinah is there with him. And we have a special place where the Shekhinah is there. And we explained that in those times, he explained that he was in Hutzal or Chop Yisiv. And there was a special amount of Shekhinah. Abaya says, I'm ready to walk even a parsa to go dafke to that shul because it's a special shul. And at the end of this Gemara, we spoke about how the shuls, but the Knesset and Bati Medrash, when Mashiach is going to come, they're going to go all to Eretz Yisrael. We also mentioned the Machlekes, as the Rebbe is going to explain, it's not really a machlekes, but the two opinions of Rabbi Yitzchak and Rabbi Lazar. If every shul and every Beis Medrash is the Mikdash Ma'at or Beis Rabbeinu shebeBavel, the house of the Rebbe. So with this, I'm going to move on to the Sicha of Beis Rabbeinu shebeBavel. We mentioned before that building a shul, building a Beis Medrash is a ifin of being Mekayim, the mitzvah of Asuli Mikdash. The Sicha of Beis Rabbeinu shebeBavel is based on a few sichas, but the Rebbe, when they started the expansion of 770, so the Rebbe came out to the Anochas Even Apina. You see the pictures of the Rebbe being mishtatif in this Anochas Even Apina, and knowing the Sikh of the Tzemach Tzedek, this obviously takes, it brings a whole new understanding to what this means, right? We said that when you're mishtatif, when you build a shul, a Beis Knesset, a Beis Medrash, even outside of Eretz Yisrael, you're being Mekai in the midst of Asuli Mikdash. So what does this mean? Let's show the pictures for a second of the Rebbe being mishtatev in the Maimed of Anachas Even Apina, the year Tavshin Memches. We'll show it for a second on the screen. These are the next few pictures. Yeah. Okay, so here we see the picture. You see the Rebbe again. This is the Rebbe holding a shovel, getting involved in building a part of 770. We'll move on to the next picture. The Rebbe is putting the stone. Again, the Rebbe, anyone could do it. You could get workers, you could get contractors, you could get people to do it. The Rebbe himself is being mishtatev in the binyan of 770. And as we explained, it's Pashat Ishtatkos in the mitzvah of Asli Mikdash. Remez Ladavar, the Beis Hamikdash Hashlishi, it says Mikdash Hashem Kainenu Yadecha, that Hashem is going to build the Beis Hamikdash with his two hands. Tzadikin Daimim Leveirav. Again, I'm just saying this from my side, but you see the Rebbe with his two hands placing the stone to be marchiv for the building in 770 when they for the expansion. You see the Rebbe getting involved, Pashit, in the binyan. The next picture you see, Pasha, this is a famous picture. The Rebbe smiling by that event. We'll go back to the shir. So now that we heard the Sikha and the Chiddush of the Tzemach Tzedek of what it means to be mishtatev in a binyan, Beis HaKnesses and a Beis HaMedrash, we get a new understanding of the Rebbe's ishtatvus in this binyan. Now, when we're talking about 770, it's not just like every Beis Knesses and Beis Medrash, like we could obviously understand on our own. Now we're in Galus, America. We're here in Chatzi Kader Atachtin. I wanted to get more involved in the details of the Sikha of Beis Rabbeinu Shebebavel, but I don't think we're going to have enough time. I guess we'll speak about more general points of the Sikha. We're now in Galus, America. And most of the Yidden are here. Chassidus came to Chatzi Kader Atachtin till the Frierdiker Rebbe came to America. So Chassidus was mainly Yiddishkeit. Torah was mainly in the Chatzi Kader Elyon, in Europe, in Eretz Yisrael, Russia. Suddenly, the Torah mitzvahs not only come to America, but the source of Torah mitzvahs, the Rebbe, comes to America and places his house there. Chooses a place in America, 770 Eastern Parkway, in Brooklyn, and that becomes the source of Torah and mitzvahs in the whole entire world. So Torah and mitzvahs used to be sourced in Chatzi Kader Elyon, and now suddenly there's a massive chiddush. The lower part of the world, where Matan Torah didn't affect it in such a strong way, at least in Haif and Gali, suddenly becomes the source of Torah and mitzvahs. And the Rebbe explains that this happens dafke now, coming to the time of Mashiach, that it's the time to elevate the whole entire world. Suddenly even the lowest part gets elevated because it's the time to elevate even the lowest point. And not only that, when you want to pick up a whole structure, so you have to start from the bottom, it came the time that America, the bottom of all, becomes a source of Yiddishkeit, elevating the whole world. Now the fact that the Rebbe, Frierdiker Rebbe, chose this house, it is obviously something special, just like Hashem chose Mikdash, the Tzaddik, and there's also a concept of Ashgocha Pratis. They're choosing the place of 770, so obviously it has something special. And the Rebbe speaks about how the number 770, the Rebbe says in English 770, that in Yiddish, Zibin Zibitzik, the number is 770, it's the gematria of Paratzta, that we're breaking all boundaries, getting the whole world ready for Mashiach. And interesting also, the gematria of 770 is Beis Mashiach. Now, we mentioned before that more than any other shul in the world, that every shul, we have to remember this, every shul and every Beis Medrash, when you go to shul, you're going to a place that any minute is going to be attached to the Beis HaMikdash. You're in a place that will be attached any moment to the Beis HaMikdash. However, when we talk about 770, 770 is the source that brings this Kedusha to all the Bati Knesses and Bati Midrashes, the source of the Machda Eretz Yisrael, bringing the Kedusha of Eretz Yisrael to the whole entire world. Galus has a purpose. We're here in America, or wherever we are now in the whole entire world, bringing the Kedusha of Eretz Yisrael everywhere till Mashiach comes, and we're going to all go together back to Eretz Yisrael. And the source of this is 770. That's where the Shekhinah is today. The Rebbe quotes here in the Sikha also a very interesting quote from Atamim that it's quoted over there that from when the Beis Hamikdash was destroyed, the Kedesh Beis Hamikdash until Hashem will send us the Geula and Yerushalayim will be built, the Beis Hamikdash. So it says as Yerushalayim even Yerushalayim Beis Hamikdash in Kedesh HaKadoshim. So it says in Lubavitch Yerushalayim Shalom. Lubavitch is our Yerushalayim. Babis Knesses Asher Kvei Dushas Admar Mispalel Bay Ubeis Hamikdash Shalanu, and the shul that the Rebbe davens in it is our Beis Hamikdash. Like we know the famous story of the Chassid that wanted to go to Eretz Yisrael, and he has a dream, and they give him a tour of the Beis Hamikdash. And when he comes to the Kiddush HaKadosh, he doesn't see the Arin. This is the Chassid of the Baal Shem Tov, and he says, "What? I see the whole Beis Hamikdash. Where's the Arin? What is this all about if we don't see the Arin?" And they told him, for the Arin, you have to go to Mezibush, because now in the times of Galus, the place of the Rebbe, that's the Beis Hamikdash now. That's where the Shekhinah is. Interesting, when the Tzemach Tzedek speaks about Vasili Mikdash, he doesn't speak about the Shekhinah b'Mkei Medes. He speaks about Vasili Mikdash, the building of the Beis Hamikdash. In other words, when we speak about Beis Hamikdash B'Bavel, in a certain sense, today it has even a stronger kedusha than the place in Yerushalayim, than the Kaisel, the Mekei Hamikdash. The Mekei Hamikdash has its kedusha, but in the time of Galus, as we explained, the Shekhinah is with us in Galus. So that's why the Beis Hamikdash B'Bavel today has this special kedusha with us today. When the Rebbe mentions also that when Mashiach comes, so first the Gili of the Beis Hamikdash will be Mizgala first in the Beis Rabbeinu Shebabava in 770. Why? Because as we mentioned in the Gemara before, that Hashem doesn't go to Eretz Yisrael and say, "Hey, I'm already in Eretz Yisrael, you're in Galus, now it's time to come back." When we go to the Gula, Hashem comes with us. That means that we have the Gilu of the Beis Hamikdash, the Gili of the Shekhinah in where it was in the times of Galus, and from there we go to the Gula. The Rebbe also mentions a remez in the Rambam, that the Rambam mentions that Mashiach will build Bana Mikdash B'Mkayim. Now, according to Pshat, this would mean that Mashiach will know to identify where the place of the Beis Hamikdash is. But the Rebbe says by remez, a remez, the Bana Mikdash B'Mkayim, is that Mashiach will build a Beis Hamikdash in his place. Again, this is remez. Remez is also a oifen of limud hatayra, but we have to understand it's not pshat, it's remez. The Rebbe says yes, according to the oifen halimud, and remez is also emes. According to the remez of Bana Mikdash B'Mkayim, this means that Mashiach will build a mikdash in his place. In other words, if Mashiach is the Nasi Hader, every generation we know that there is a Nasi Hader and he's the Mashiach of that der. He is in America. So the Rebbe explains it's a remez that Mashiach is mishtatev in the binyan Beis Hamikdash B'Mkayim, in the mikdash me'at, where the mikdash will be misgala when the time comes, and this is a preparation for the gili of the Beis Hamikdash for when it will go back to Yerushalayim. Suddenly, me in a personal way, these pictures that we saw a few moments ago takes a new dimension. Mashiach is being mishtatev. Bana Mikdash B'Mkayim, again, according to the Remez, but Remez is also Emes. He's building a Beis Hamikdash B'Mkayim, and with this preparing for the Beis Hamikdash Dila'asid. The Rebbe mentions one more inyan of the thing that of the concept that it's the house of the Nasi Adar. The Rebbe says that every shul has a Gilu Shechina because there's a minyan there. Therefore, a part of the Shechina is Mizgala there. But the Nasi Adar is the Nasi of the whole der. Just like in the Beis Hamikdash, all the Yidden would come, and that's why there was a Gili of the full Shechina of the Beis Hamikdash. Since the Nasi Adar represents the whole der, so therefore there is a Gili in the house of the Nasi Adar, fully of the whole Shechina. With this Sikha, we actually get to understand the Gemara that we saw before in Maseches Megillah. Why would Beis Rabbeinu have any more Gilui, any more revelation of Shechina than any other shul or any other Beis Medrash? The Rebbe explains it's not a machlekes, just it's mainly in the Beis Rabbeinu Shebabava. Now with the Sikha, we can understand it, being that it's the house of the Rebbe. It's the place where Torah is spread to the whole entire world. It's the place where the Rebbe represents all the Yidden, and he's there. So therefore, it's the main place of the Shekhinah in Galus. And like the Gemara says, yes, it's everywhere, but still it's mainly in either Hutzal or in Shav Yasir, because that's where the Shekhinah moved and went to a main place, and that is the Beis Rabbeinu. I guess I'll finish off maybe just by reading the end of the Sikha. The Rebbe says that, again, we were speaking also how coming closer to the Gula, so this becomes even more mudgash. So the Rebbe says, the Rebbe says yes, the fact that more Yidden are coming to 770 strengthens even more the concept of the Beis Rabbeinu Shebavel Bereivam Hadas Melech, including Kelman Malchi Rabbanon, Frat Nisim Melech Ader, that Yidden are so many Yidden are coming to the Rebbe's shul, giving covet to the Melech, including Malchi Rabbanon, that the Rabbanim are considered also Melech, and especially when we talk about the Nasi and the Melech Ader. So the Rebbe continues, Rabbeinu Vadlag Dola Varchava, Shiba even the Pritas Gather Prat Matthew 770 Binyan Bayis Chadash. As we explained that throughout many generations, there was more of a Isafa in the Indian of Binyan Beis Hamikdash here in the concept of Mikdash Ma'at. Since more people are coming to 770, so the Rebbe is saying this by the expansion. So the Rebbe says we're expanding now, which this is even more of Adgasha in the concept of the Beis Rabbeinu, the expansion, even of Paratsta, like a new house, that it's an even of a Chiddush. So this is even more a hadgash on the concept of the Mikdash Mat and a preparation for the Gula Asida. Valpi Amr Leel, al derech reid leili the Beis Rabbeinu Shebavel Shel Mikdash Sham Gu Makem Mikdash Gufei Lasid Bat Shabayis Gal Mikdash Asid B'Sham Yachzil B'Yerushalayim move on Geid Laschos the Kol Hachadach B'Yisrael L'Shtatif B'Gufei B'Mamayne B'Chol Amar B'Yis B'Shubach B'Bnias Beis Rabbeinu Shebavel Kachana L'Yiridas Gal Mikdash Asid take it from Yad Mamish. The Rebbe says so there's obviously a big schos with M'Shtatif B'Gufei B'Mamayne in this expansion of 770. The Rebbe brings al derech b'dugmas Beis Hamikdash in the order. The Rebbe says just like in the Beis Hamikdash, everyone was supposed to get involved. So too also today. And Vasman Grama, the Rebbe speaks about in Shnasa Tzadik. And I'll end off with the Yehidatzin. Yehidatzin tried lifnei agdalas rachavas Beis Rabbeinu Shebavel. Even before expanding 770, Yizgalav Yered Nashamayim Mikdash Asid. The Beis Hamikdash already come down from above. And you know what? Speaking about it here, and we explained before that all the shuls will connect to the Beis Hamikdash. The Rebbe mentions how the Beis Rabbeinu Shebavel will be mamish connected to the Beis Hamikdash. Be'etzem, don't catch me on my words. So, the Beis Hamikdash is the expansion of 770. The real full expansion of 770, the Rebbe was mishtatif in Tafshim Memches, and obviously there was expansion that was done then. But obviously, the full expansion of 770 is when it will be Mikdash Hashem Keinen Yadecha, with the full expansion with the Beis Hamikdash that's coming down from Shemayim. So the Rebbe says even before we finish, we should merit the Beis Hamikdash Shlishi v'Meshulash, which includes the Beis Hamikdash Rishon, the Beis Hamikdash Shlishi, that it will be Mizgale. Firstly, in Beis Rabbeinu Shebavel, Beis Meshulash, Beis HaKnesses, Beis Tefillah, Beis HaMidrash Teira, Beis Meisim Tevim, Bilus Chasadim, and from there, from 770, from the Beis Rabbeinu Shebavel, it's going to go to Yerushalayim, together with all the shuls and all the Bati Medrash in the whole world, in the whole world, and they're going to all go, and they're going to all go to Eretz Yisrael in Yerushalayim, connected to the Beis Hamikdash, together with all the Yidden in the whole entire world, as it says. Will the Goyim are going to also come towards the Beis Hamikdash. Basically, Yaakov, all the Goyim will also get involved and want to go up to the house of Hashem. It will show interest. Take it from Yad Mamish. Just to finish off, I want to mention one more point before I'll mention the last star over here of Chai Eldash Memches. So in the Maimed of the Even Apina of 770, the Rebbe was present, and the Rebbe put the Even Apina Yod of Akdesha. Okay, so just to finish off, there's a sikha that the Rebbe mentions. We said before that everyone could also make this base Mikdash Me'at in your own home. By having a pushka there, by having svardim, by using a house for shiurei Torah that Rebbe mentioned, for bringings, by putting a pushka in the wall, like the Rebbe said, connecting a pushka to the wall in the kitchen or in the house, to connect a pushka to the wall. In general, bringing the Shekhinah into the house, we are mekayim also the concept of Asuli Mikdash today. So just to bring the kitzer, and really the kitzer of all the shiurim that we gave till now, the shiurim that we gave this year, each year we spoke about one part of the Beis HaMikdash, and we brought it also Ma'aseh B'Payel, how we could bring it into our lives. This sicha, and together with all the sichas mentioned, when we imply these inyanim, and we go in these ways, and we make our own Beis HaKnesset, our own Mikdash Ma'at in our house, in our life, learning these halachis, learning these inyanim of the Beis HaMikdash, we are living in this new day, the time connected to the Beis HaMikdash. We are doing our part to build the Beis HaMikdash, and there is no doubt that any second we will see it here in front of our eyes right now, and we will know that we were part of it.
Thank you so much, Rabbi Meislish, for giving of your precious time to teach us and helping us, guide us to build the Beis HaMikdash. It's been a real treat learning from you, and may Hashem bench you, Yadei Hamleya, Sicha K'desha V'Archava.